The conversation I'm about to share with you is from a chat that I had with Wiler and Tamara from Ayahuasca Spirit, and this is when I was at one of their European retreats in Valencia. Wiler is the head shaman there, who comes from a traditional Shipibo background, and Tamara is the head facilitator and also the operations manager. Now, this was actually recorded about a year ago when they first started doing retreats in Spain. And so some of the stuff that we talk about here might seem slightly out of context because at this time they were just getting started. Still, it's really cool to be able to view this as a kind of time capsule just to see how far they've come in the last 12 months because yeah, the retreats have really started taking off. So personally, I absolutely love these guys and I'm a big fan of their operation. So I'm really pleased to see it working out for them. So there is a bit of a backstory here as to why I sat on this footage for 12 months. And it's because when I recorded it, from a technical point of view, everything just went wrong. I had multiple camera setups so I could do some snappy close-ups from different perspectives. And yeah, one of them, the main camera, that ran out of batteries halfway through. Another camera was out of focus. The microphone that I was using to pick up the sound didn't work. So all that I was left with was just my iPhone, which was set up on this kind of like off angle, which didn't catch me in the frame. And that's the only footage which turned out okay. So when I got home and I looked back at the footage and saw all these problems, I was just so disappointed that I just shelved the whole project. It just didn't live up to my artistic vision at the time. But recently I was going back through some of my archives and I came across this footage and I watched it and I listened to the conversation and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really good, friendly, lively conversation, and so I felt it was worth sharing with you guys. In this conversation, we talk about bringing ayahuasca out of the jungle and into the Western world and what that might mean for us all during this kind of psychedelic renaissance. It's a really good conversation and hopefully we'll do it all again because I do actually plan on heading out there again soon once all this kind of coronavirus stuff craziness has sorted itself out. One quick word about the subtitles. I really do try my best to get these as accurate as possible, but my Spanish is just absolutely terrible, if possibly non-existent. So I rely quite heavily on things like Google Translate and auto transcriptions. So yes, I'm fully aware they're not going to be perfect. And I've also included Tamara's own translations in here as well. But hopefully it's enough to bring across the spirit of the conversation. And to Wiler and Tamara, guys, I'm really sorry if I got anything completely wrong. I did the best I could with what I had. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. So without further ado, I bring you two of my favorite people, Wiler and Tamara from Ayahuasca Spirit. Enjoy. So I'm here in Valencia, Spain with Maestro Wiler and Tamara, and I'm at, I don't know, was it like an as yet unnamed retreat, or what would we call this? Where are we right now?
I would say this is Ayahuasca Spirit European retreat. Okay,
so this is the European offshoot of your centre in Pucallpa,
exactly,
which is called Ayahuasca Spirit. So is this is the first time that you've done these retreats in Spain? And I know it's not. This is not the first one, but this series of retreats is the first time. And is this like a one-off, or you see this becoming like a regular thing?
We want to make it a regular thing. Like we feel it's important to come to Europe and share the knowledge, the traditional knowledge from the jungle. So we are planning on coming back here a couple of times a year, maybe for 3 months, every 3 months, you know, just 3 months here, 3 months there, so we can spread the knowledge of the medicine around.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool because it's like a godsend for people like me, you know, Europeans who want to have this kind of traditional experience. You know, I've always loved the like Shipibo ceremonies, and I've done a few retreats here in Europe before, and yeah, they were okay, but they didn't sort of rock my boat as much as the stuff over in the jungle. So to get that kind of traditional Shipibo experience, but here, I think it's kind of a really interesting model, and I'm really excited to see sort of where you go with it. But I think just it's probably worth going into a bit about the background of you guys, because we met for the first time in 2017 at Pulse Tours, because Wiler's got this long history that, you know, he was working at Temple of the Way of Light as shaman. He was the head shaman at Pulse Tours, head shaman at Acacia. Then he went to at Soltara as well. So all these different centres, big high profile centres, and then he went on to found his own centre of Ayahuasca Spirit. So yeah, it's a bit of a rock star to be honest in terms of
shaman rock star.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dice que le gustaría saber un poco más de nuestra historia.
Mira, bueno, yo soy Shipibo, ¿no?
Ah.
Soy Shipibo. Yo he crecido en un lugar muy lejano de la ciudad, ¿ya? Y una familia muy humilde, muy pobre. ¿Ya? Y estudié en la selva muy profundo, donde que yo vivía, donde que estaba mi padre, donde que estaba mi madre, mis familias. Uno de mis hobbies
Ajá.
era pescar, me gustaba mucho la pesca. Y tampoco no sabía hablar en español. Aprendí a hablar español de 16 años, 17 años.
So he's saying he grew up in a very remote village in the jungle. He comes from a very humble, poor family, and where he was living with his dad, with his mom, and he studied very deep in the jungle, like he was not connected to the cities at all. And he said that even he didn't know Spanish until he was 16 years old. He could only speak Shipibo.
So I mean, I know that you've got like quite an interesting backstory. As you mentioned, you sort of started in this poor sort of village. And what was it that sort of brought you onto this path of shamanism? Like what was it?
Bueno, cuando era joven, ¿no? Me gustaba participar en algunos ceremonias tradicionales que hacían, ¿no? Con la ayahuasca, los antiguos curanderos, ¿no? Y nunca tuve la idea que yo algún momento voy a compartir los conocimientos o voy a ser algún momento curandero, ya llevando mensaje a la gente, ¿no? A las personas, salvando alma espiritual en su vida de cada uno, ¿no? Pero cuando yo me accidenté, cuando tenía mis 22 años, cuando perdí mi vista, ahí decidí dietar, que sería uno de los fuentes que yo podía conseguir dinero o para ayudar a la gente o ayudar a mi familia o mis hijos. Por eso decidí aprender la medicina, dietar las plantas.
So he's saying that when he was young, he would always go into ceremonies, and he would be like joining in with his grandfather. He always liked the Icaros and the way the ceremonies were going, but he never thought I'll be a shaman one day. He never thought that. Then one day he got this accident in his eye, and after that he felt like he needed to do something else. And then the path of shamanism just came to him, like maybe I can be a shaman, I can help people, I can save lives, I can save their souls, and at the same time I can support my family, and it's not like he supports his family only, like his whole community.
Yeah.
He's got this big heart for them, like he's so open to all of that, and helping the school, the food, the day of the mother, he just gives lots of food, and the kids, and this, like he's got this really loving
Isn't it weird though? And I was thinking about this a little bit last night, that just the fact that you've been able to help so many people and touch so many lives really comes down to this tragic accident, you know. And it's almost like, I don't know. I just wondered how is that something he kind of has to reconcile or struggle with, like that this, what was, I'm sure at the time, been this like horrific sort of, you know, something that nobody wants to go through, but yet so much good has come out of it. You know, it's a very, the world works in very strange ways, you know what I mean?
Claro, ¿no? Porque uno se aprende, se dieta las plantas, es para compartir y para ayudar a la persona, salvar la vida espiritual, dar ese amor, esa felicidad, esa paz, lo que uno tenemos a través de las plantas, ¿no? Y lo que llevamos. Por ejemplo, nosotros, los shipibos o los indígenas de la selva, nosotros no conocíamos lo que es que es un hospital, o que es una farmacia, o que es una pastilla, una cápsula. ¿Ya? Entonces nosotros teníamos nuestro propio banco de conocimientos y bancos de las plantas. donde que nosotros curábamos a través de las plantas, ¿no? Una fiebre, un dolor, una diarrea, o dolor de cabeza, o otro tipo de enfermedades. Todo era con las plantas. Entonces, esa cultura de lo que nosotros tenemos, de nuestros ancestros, y valorar, llevar ese conocimiento a través, compartiendo a la gente, ¿no? Que nos dejó el universo en esta tierra.
Yeah, so he's saying that when you diet, the purpose of dieting is because there is this big compromise with the plants, the trees, the diets, the amount of time you spend doing these things. And he's saying when you start doing this, in his mind, the only purpose is to spread this love and this knowledge and these healing powers. Because it's like what I have is like the peace, the love, the caring, all of that. That's what I'm giving to people. And as well, he's saying that in the Shipibo tradition, which is where he comes from, they never knew about medicine, like Western medicine, like tablets and injection. All of those things didn't exist there. So they had this pharmacy, but it was all the plants.
The jungle pharmacy, yeah.
Jungle pharmacy, right? And every illnesses that they would have, like pain, the headaches, whatever it was, they would use these plants to heal. And what they do now, with all this ancestral knowledge that they have, like all this power that they have, like now they just open up to the world. Because if not, they would be, in these small villages where maybe the people around would know and we would not have access to it. But now that like the world is opening up to it as well, they can actually share all of this background of.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, how and to both of you guys, how do you feel about this? That there's this, ayahuasca's kind of come into the mainstream kind of a bit. You see it cropping up in like TV shows and stuff like that, and then the model's always been that, people are traveling from Europe, from the States, they're traveling to Peru, and it's happening there. And now you guys are kind of flipping that dynamic a bit. You're bringing the tradition out of, coming out of the jungle and coming here. So, I mean, I'm guessing, I would know your answer, but do you see this as a positive then, that ayahuasca's kind of coming out of the jungle, or is it like, is there the risk of some kind of tradition being lost there as it yeah?
Bueno, es que nosotros ahora queremos compartirnos nuestro conocimiento, nuestra cultura, nuestro arte que llevamos a través de los conocimientos, a través de la ayahuasca, ¿no? Es importante salir ahora llevando ese mensaje para los demás, que a través de la ayahuasca podemos curarnos, salvarnos nuestra vida. ¿Por qué? Porque ya no podemos estar toda la vida en la selva tampoco, porque ahí más allá, por ejemplo, por Europa, por estos lugares, necesitan personas que deben llegar a ese mensaje, ese ayuda, ¿no? Esa liberación, sanación. Entonces es importante llegar a estos lugares para que ellos den cuenta que nosotros tenemos nuestra cultura ancestrales, nuestro conocimiento de la medicina, que sí puede ser en cualquier lugar, ya no solamente en el lugar donde que estamos.
Yeah, so he feels it's very important to actually get out of it and get out of the jungle. So it's like he was explaining that it is time to leave the jungle, to go and spread this, because it's not only that the knowledge and the wisdom is in the jungle. Obviously the experience in the jungle is different, but the knowledge and the wisdom, they have it.
Yeah.
Like it's them, no the jungle,
Yeah.
Obviously it's part of it, but they have it inside of them. So he's saying the thing with coming to Europe, coming to America, all of those things is important because people need healing. And it's important to get to them more than, because some people are not able to get to us.
Yeah.
So it's good for us to just being able to offer this healing, so people who may want this or may be thinking about it and may not be so clear on going to the jungle, because at times traveling may as well give you
a lot of big
challenge.
barriers. Yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
Challenge. Maybe coming here where we are now and feel more secure, like you know the place, you know kind of the culture, all of these things, you know, so you feel safe. And then there's the like Wiler and the Shipibos bring all of these traditions, like bring a bag, you know, in their bags, like, okay guys, now there you go, this is what we give you.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's a really great thing, because I think there's this kind of perception of because it's such a high barrier to entry. You know, you've got to, the flights cost a lot, the retreats cost a lot, you've got to take this time to go a lot. Then I think there's this kind of false perception that's come up that ayahuasca is kind of elitist. You know, it's for I mean the phrase, you know, I've had thrown at me a lot, you know, on the internet is like, you know, this is just a thing for like rich dickheads, you know, this is, you know, it's like, why would you go and spend all the money, you can get high, you know.
yeah, but then again, you know, it's curious the way we think this way, because when we are gonna invest in something like shoes, a car, this, that, like we don't mind. It's okay, we'll save for it, we'll just spend this money on these things that will not mean anything at the end of the day, because finally at the end of the road, like it's just that it's not gonna really improve your life.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, you're investing in yourself.
Yeah, the most important thing of all.
Like I came to believe that the only important thing in our lives is our process.
Yeah.
That's it. Like as long as your process is right and you feel love and peace, and you can get to these spaces where you can let go of stuff and you can free yourself from just getting lost in worries and sadness and fears, and like that's it, life will come to you. Life will just be aligned for you.
I was talking to Mark last night saying the same sort of thing, that I think like, the only important thing in anybody's life is the relationships that you have, including the relationship you have with yourself.
That's very important.
And all the other, like, doesn't matter how much money you've got or what job you had, no one's going to talk about that when you're dead. But the only thing that people are going to talk about is what you meant to them. You know, that's when you talk about your ancestors, you talk about like the stories and stuff like that relationship you had with them. And I think people lose track of that, and like I say, they don't invest in that important thing. But still, I do understand that it is, you've got to take that sort of first sort of step somehow, and I think that with what you guys are sort of doing, bringing it to Europe, it does lower that barrier to entry and let sort of more people get in. I'm just going to throw this in there. So I suppose a question sort of comes to me like, do you like guys see a future of where like you centres are appearing? Because we're at the moment, this is like a sort of a villa that you've hired for this occasion. It's been really nice. But do you see something more permanent springing up? And also, do you foresee having apprentices here in Europe? Because again, the typical thing is someone wants to work with the medicine, you give up your job, you sell all your stuff, you disappear off to the jungle for God knows how long, and you find someone to apprentice. But do you see that kind of coming over here, or?
So the thing is, like, we want to get a permission to be able to send all the medicines around the world. So it's not only in the jungle. We'll obviously be connected all the time to the jungle, but we'll be sending like medicines around. So the idea is to have a center here, like at something that's ours, and we can really make the space properly. If there is somebody who wants to diet and somebody who wants to really learn from the medicine, they can come to us. Even we'll explain now. I'll translate to him. And we wanna like just spread this thing of like, if you wanna come learn the medicine, learn about shamanism, about the tradition, about all the medicines, all the plants, just come and learn. We do wanna have a place for that, where we would do retreats, and we would offer the possibility for those who want to just to come and do diets. Because at the end of the day, like, we all have holidays. You have a month holiday, so you can come and do a month diet. And it's for like it's a super holiday because you're connecting to universe, you know, to universal knowledge and wisdom, and it's like, oh my God, like I could now do better in Mexico in a retreat, in a, you know, in the beach. So yeah, that's our plan. We really want to open up.
Bueno, el plan de nosotros es ahora, ¿no? Traer los conocimientos desde lugares, ¿no? Puede ser intercambiado, ¿no? Ya, puede ser aquí 3 meses o 6 meses, en la selva otros meses que nos quedan, ¿no? Entonces, en este lugar sí podemos dar dieta, pero es un poco difícil traer las cortezas de las plantas. Pero allá en la selva nosotros lo tenemos a la mano. Y entonces las personas que quieren dietar, aprender, invitamos
A la selva.
Ya que hagan una dieta de aislamiento con las plantas, donde que van a dar donde que están al lugar, pueden conectar con las mismas plantas.
¿No recomiendas hacerlo aquí?
Claro, también podemos hacer con lo que es el otro tipo de dieta, podemos darlo aquí.
Ya. Porque estamos consiguiendo un permiso, ¿no?
Sí, sí, exacto.
Yeah, so he's saying that our plan is to come over here and to spread the knowledge and the word of the medicine here in Spain. And he's saying when it comes to diets, even as I was telling you, we're getting a permission and all those things, he believes that, so we're going to be 6 months here, 6 months there.
Yeah.
And he believes it is probably more, I don't know how, more pure, let's say,
Okay.
to go to the jungle. And when it comes to diets,
Yeah.
because all the plants are around, the spirits of those plants obviously are there. They come with like if we send a bark,
Yeah.
they will come with the bark, obviously. But over there is like their home. So he thinks for maybe dieters it would be interesting. Even we can do it here for those who wanted to learn here. That would be no problem.
There's an advantage to being in the jungle.
But there's an advantage.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, you feel it, you know, when you're there. I mean, I always say to people when they're talking about, you know, should we go to the jungle? And it's like, just, you could take the ayahuasca completely out of the equation and it's like the trip of a lifetime, you know what I mean? It's like, if you want to go for ayahuasca, and it's awesome, but yeah, it's like the rainforest, you've got feeding monkeys and shit, you know, it's so yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, that would be the sort of recommendation, but I think the fact that it's something, because I think
it's, the important thing is to give options.
Yeah.
To have them all, open.
And I think diets this is a kind of a new thing that's coming into the consciousness. I think it was all ayahuasca before, and now I think really it's only this last like sort of like last year or two really the sort of people are talking more about diet, and now this is to get the benefit. So I think it's good to have the option to try that sort of thing here in Europe, because again there's a bigger commitment to these diets, there's a lot more time and stuff like that. So to be able to try it like that here in Europe, and then they decide, okay, I want to go and do a big immersion in the jungle somewhere.
Maybe what you're saying, it's like starting here, so you try and you know what it is now, and you know the amount of commitment, because this is a big commitment. Like you really need to be committed to this, to the ayahuasca as well. Like you need to do a diet, you need to stay clean for some time, and all of that. That's important. But when it comes to diet, it's a different kind of level, because you're dealing now with spirits, like you're before as well, but like you're kind of making a contract with this spirit, and you're promising that you're gonna be there with the spirit for 15 days, for a month, for 2 months. If you don't accomplish what you said, they get annoyed, because like, Anna, you told me you were gonna be with me for this amount of time. So as you said, it would be good to like try it here.
Yeah.
See what it is. You like it?
Okay.
Go deep
take
into
the
the thing. Yeah.
So I was wondering, have you got any kind of vision of, like, 10, 20 years from now, what does this look like? This kind of fusion of Shipibo tradition and sort of Western Europe. Like, do you think this? Is there some sort of like you know, do you think that's something that society is going to just kind of going to embrace, and like we're all going to start, you know, have this kind of awakening, want to focus more on the self? I just wondered, like, what's your perfect world?
Bueno, el visión hacia el futuro para mí es adaptar y a trabajar como conocimiento occidental y con el conocimiento tradicional, para que la gente pueda darse cuenta que los dos nos pueden ayudar a mejorar nuestra calidad de nuestra vida espiritual, sanar. Pero hay una diferencia con el mundo occidental, con la medicina occidental. No te salva espiritualmente, no te conecta, sino es como una calmante que te hace a ti. Pero espiritualmente te fortalece tu mente, te hace renacer, te hace encontrar tu luz, te hace encontrar tu paz interior. Cada persona tradicional, a través del ícaro, a través de las plantas y los conocimientos que nos da el poder de las plantas.
Yeah, so he's saying that his vision for the future would be like a mixture of traditional knowledge and Western knowledge. Just put them all together, get this mixture together, so we can all raise consciousness through it. And through the thing he's explaining that through the Western medicine, like it's like it calms down the mind, it calms down the body, it calms. But it doesn't get to the point where the traditional medicine goes to. So the traditional medicine connects you and brings you into this space of pure clarity, pure understanding, like reaching out into something else. So he sees the future in mixing all those things and just being able to connect like this medicine and that medicine to really connect Western world into the traditional way. And for me, I feel my vision in 10, 20 years, my ideal vision, no, it would be to raise so much the vibration of the planet, like so much, help so many people aware, so many people of working on their hearts, on their souls, like just opening up to these beautiful spaces that we create with the medicine and spreading that around their families, their friends, their jobs, you know, teaching through the example. And suddenly we're kind of getting out of this space where we need to work because we need to work. And we need money because we need money. And we need to do this and we're supposed to do that and we have to and we should. And it's like, okay, no, I'm gonna listen to myself because in listening to myself, I'll find the power and I'll find the light to really follow my dreams. And to really add something to the world, you know? That's my ideal vision.
No, you're right. There's a phrase that I picked up somewhere, which is, you need to be a human being, not a human doing. And I think
that's a good one.
So it sounds like you're kind of like quite optimistic about like we're on the sort of like the verge of some sort of global awakening, some sort of global change. Is that how you feel like this is the time something's kind of happening here?
I think so. I think it's the beginning of something. We're witnesses of the beginning of something huge. Like I really feel we're gonna change the world. Not us, but like everybody in this conscious space.
Do you think there's any kind of danger of it going sort of wrong with it? You know, sometimes these things kind of explode and then you have people sort of taking it in a non-traditional way, and particularly I think with a lot of the stuff around legalization at the moment, right? So it's definitely great that, you know, people aren't going to be criminals for investigating these things, but then I wonder is it going to are you going to end up with like a lot of people cooking their own ayahuasca in their own kitchen and doing it without any sort of kind of guidance? Have you got any? What's your thoughts on there? Is it all good, or is this some kind of? Do we need to navigate carefully through this territory?
Yeah, probably that's something to be aware of. Like in my positive vision ideal, it would be that. But then, obviously, like this is a danger.
Y por eso no nosotros llegamos hasta aquí, ya, o otros lugares también, para abrir las puertas. Ya que sí, el mundo existe otro tipo de curación ancestrales que tenemos nosotros. ¿Ya? Y también queremos ser como las medicinas occidentales también, que abran, la gente entienda, porque nosotros tenemos esa creencia que a través de la medicina que podemos salvar la vida.
Yeah.
Y entonces, por eso, ya nosotros lo que no queremos estar como un lado con nuestra medicina tradicional, sino también que se abre para poder salvar al mundo y también conservar la naturaleza, lo que tenemos nosotros. Por ejemplo, si una pastilla tiene como sus plásticos, todas esas cosas, ¿no? Entonces, este tipo de cosas contamina la naturaleza. Pero en cambio, con la planta natural no lo contaminamos, sino tratamos de salvar al mundo espiritual, naturalezas, conservar, mantener, ya que nosotros, que en el pueblo Shipibo y la selva lo tenemos todo a la mano. Y esa medicina natural, sí, tiene una curación profunda. Pero aunque la gente cocina en sus casas, la medicina es para todo lo que podemos tener, para ellos también. Ahora, ¿por qué algunas personas de América, de Europa o de Asia también practican? ¿Por qué? Porque le han visto la realidad, la curación y la salvación espiritual de ellos. Entonces queremos que nosotros también, que nos entiendan el trabajo, lo que hacemos nosotros. Aunque las plantas medicinales o la ayahuasca es legal, pero yo recomendaría que nos entiendan las autoridades europeas o América, que todos somos con la misma línea que podemos tener la sanación.
Yeah, so he's saying that when it comes to this cooking, it's like that's why he's saying that's why we're coming over here, like so you can actually get access to what's the truth about the ayahuasca, about the medicines, about the plants, like to save the world, to heal the universal consciousness, like maybe doing it at home without the shaman, in my perspective, would not be the best option, because you are opening up to something really deep, and you never know what's going to come out of it, what's going to get in. Like, this is the danger, no? And he's saying, so when we come here, we want to bring this knowledge, the true knowledge of the ayahuasca, because at times we may get confused into what's ayahuasca and what's it used for, because when we're using it on our own, we may not reach to the point that they can bring us to, you know?
Yeah, I think you get the feeling, but you don't necessarily get the meaning. It's. Yeah. I mean, I think when I did my first time in the jungle, and the thought occurred to me like, ayahuasca is this. It's an event. It's not necessarily the stuff in the bottle. It's this thing that happens, and that doesn't happen in your flat in Manchester. It kind of
it won't.
It all happens. This combination of things make this this kind of a living, breathing organism, which is called ayahuasca, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think that's why it's important to be doing what you guys are doing, to bring the tradition
into here.
Yeah.
And even he was saying as well that once we get this consciousness, like in the world, we're just really destroying nature. We're really destroying, like we're using plastics, we're doing all these things, like we're just crazy. You know?
It's almost like kind of suicidal.
It's suicidal. We're killing the planet, but the planet is not gonna die. It's been here forever.
No, we're gonna die.
That's the thing. We'll stop being here. So it's like he's saying, we wanna bring this thing as well, like this care for nature, this living in nature, the way we live, the way our life is, you know, to share these things. And so we understand there's no need. There is no need. Yeah. Like we can't really live happily with the trees and the plants, and you know.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think you guys are kind of facilitating that shift. It's a cool thing. Yeah. My wife asked me to ask a question, so it's. I just want to stress this is not about anybody at this centre, but my wife asked this. So, she's saying like, how do you deal with that when you're facilitating a ceremony or a retreat, and that you get someone who, do you ever get someone who you think, oh my god, I hate this person, you know, and there's just but you know they're a guest, they're a paid guest, and they come.
The person.
Yeah. How would you deal with that?
Y por eso el conocimientos de la medicina o el espíritu nos enseña que podemos sentir como una familia dentro de una ceremonia. Ya por más que tú no le gusta la energía de la persona, pero busca el amor, la felicidad para poder conectar, para poder ayudar a esa persona, liberarse de esa energía, ¿no? De abrir tu corazón, ya para poder hacer un trabajo, conectarnos todos y liberarnos, sanarnos espiritualmente. Eso es lo único que nosotros manejamos con los conocimientos, a través del espíritu.
So he's saying when it comes to those situations, the thing is like, part of the medicine is when you enter in this space, ceremonial space, you really feel a family. That's the knowledge of the medicine, family, connection. We're all together in this oneness, you know. And he's saying, so even it's not even the person, it's the energy.
Yeah.
You know, the person is pure, but the energy that's attached to it is not pure. That's the thing. So he's saying, instead of getting lost into this energy, look inside of you. Look for the light, for the love, for the caring. Open your heart to it. So you, through that opening of the shaman, the knowledge, the spirits, you can connect that person to the place where it needs to be. You can connect the person so you can see clear what's going on in this space of an energetic space.
Yeah.
So you can release it.
So you're sort of always, you can always help somebody. It's like you're sort of being professional and sort of there's a.
The thing, like you find a very compassionate space inside of you. Like even at times you may be even confused by the energy. You're like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, or you may try to calm somebody, and that somebody's not paying attention, and like you're just trying. But I've noticed through all the years I've been working with the medicine, like I've always been, and this is part, I think this is the medicine just putting me in my place. Like I've always been kind, and my words were like the words that come through me are always nice, are always peaceful. Like there is no judgment, there is no. It's like we are here for this, and at times, as Wheeler was saying, the energetic work that the shamans do is so important, and it can connect you to the source. And then the facilitator work is more, even it's energetic as well, but we go down a level when it comes to physical realm, because we speak. At times you speak to the person, you start, like, through that speaking you can center that person as well. So there's these two levels, but always with love and compassion.
Yeah, I think compassion's definitely the quality I see when I go on these retreat and you see the the facilitators and the shaman, and I mean but blunt, I could not do it. But the levels of like compassion, it's a beautiful thing. I think you've got to be a special kind of sort of person to see that. I really I think that's one thing that when I came to Pulse that time, and I came on my own for the first time, and when I sort of got home, and I just immediately said to my wife, I said, "Oh my God, you've got to see this place! Like and we just immediately booked it and sort of come back next year." And then when we got there, we were gutted because you'd all moved on. And I just wanted to ask a little bit about like what happened at Pulse, because I mean this was like like one of the big centres. It was like the #1 sort of rated centre, and I'm guessing for like a time there, this was like you all seemed so happy, like this big sort of family there, and it just seemed so idyllic. And then I think it was when I was there the first time. It was when it was being handed over to Arcana. It was that I was there that last week. I remember all you guys all came in for this final sort of staff ceremony, but there was a real like sadness in the air. And I just wonder if you'd like shed some light on like what was it? Was it just that it had come to its end and it had done its time, or was it that I suppose the thing that's when you're out there, does it kind of become like any other job where you sort of, I guess like the kind of what people imagine is that it's just this utopia. You're all living in the jungle, you're all working with the medicine, you're hanging out with shamans. It's all so cool, you're all. But for people who are sort of thinking that this is all, I want to do this. So I just wondering if you could sort of like, what's the actual reality like? Is it still like a job, or is it some sort of utopia, and sort of do the usual sort of like human bullshit and conflicts sort of still crop up and stuff?
Obviously we're people, and you're dealing with your own process, and you have to like work with the medicine as well, as much as other people come to work with the medicine. I used to say to the passengers who would come that the people that were living at the jungle, like the medicine didn't want us there for 1 or 2 weeks. She wanted us there for a year or 2 years or whatever, 3 years. And it was like because we were the most fucked up people. So, and then at Pulse we were always a family, and it was really nice. And then it just, we started to just take our own paths. And that was it. It was,
It was a kind of a shame though. There was like I think that there's a lesson that I had to learn there, which is I'm not sure it's a good lesson to learn, but it's like you can't get too attached to these people, and that was my thing. I was so wanting to come back the next year with my wife and say, oh, this is Tamara, this is Wheeler, this is this is Craig, this is and people move on, and when I think I was a few weeks out, and that's when I found out that Wheeler wasn't the shaman anymore. I was gutted, man. I was like, what the fuck? I paid good money for this shit. and it turns out it was a good retreat and stuff. But I was really clinging on to you guys and those sort of memories there. Okay, so I mean that's kind of all my talking about. Is there anything kind of you guys wanted to cover?
Wheeler, ¿tú quieres decir alguna cosa más?
Bueno, le invitamos a la gente que está interesada de querer platicar con la medicina, ¿no? Con la ayahuasca. Estamos puertas abiertas, corazón abierta, conocimiento abierta, para que puedan venir a compartir con nosotros. Estoy listo, preparado para compartir mis conocimientos, dar ese poder, esa fuerza, ese amor, esa felicidad dentro de cada uno, de paz que lleva a ellos. Le invito, ¿no? Le invito. Que sea aquí en Europa, en cualquier lugar que sea, o en la selva. Estoy para ayudar a la gente, ¿no?
So he's saying we would like to invite the people to come to us. We're completely open. Our doors are open for whoever wants to come and experience and heal with the medicine. Our hearts are open. Our knowledge, his knowledge, very ready to help whoever it is. And he invites everybody to come if it's in Europe, in America, and wherever we're gonna be, and if in the jungle as well. Completely open, we invite everybody.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll put some links in the description to Ayahuasca Spirit, and I don't you've not got like a website or anything for Ayahuasca Spirit EU, but I'll put some link. You've got a Facebook.
No, we have a Ayahuasca Spirit Center.com.
Yeah. That's just for the Pacalpa Center, is it? You don't talk about any of this European stuff?
No, we're going to start talking about it. So we're going to open a space. We do have this space where we're promoting like ceremonies in Spain, ceremonies in Portugal, ceremonies this.
Yeah.
So we are opening that space.
Okay, well that's it. I'll put some links in the description below.
And as well, like we're going to be opening this space of Mapacho selling, and then Shipibo tapestries and like those kind of medicines, or if you're doing some kind of diet or you want agua de Florida or those things, like as well, we thought it was because when we came here, it was hard to get mapachos. They were not getting from the jungle, and we were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So we just thought we would like to make it easy for people, you know?
Yeah.
If you wanna be connected to the medicine, to the mapachos, to the agua de Florida, make it easy.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can have it at home.
What about all the kind of like all the Shipibo kind of clothing and stuff like that?
As well, yeah.
Oh my God, my wife will go nuts for that stuff. We spent a fortune on sort of Shipibo stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool. I'll look forward to it then. Well, yeah, keep me informed. And yeah, as I say, I'll put some links in the description below. And I just wanted to say, yeah, muchas gracias, maestro. This has been a really good retreat for me.
Ha sido muy buen retiro.
And yeah, thanks to you as well, Tamara. And yeah, I look forward to sort of seeing you guys again at some point.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Tienen ganas de verlos otra vez.
Y le doy gracias al universo,
Ajá.
le doy gracias a los espíritus de la planta y también le doy gracias por hacernos esta pequeña entrevista que será compartido para el mundo, ¿no? Entonces de esa forma podemos llegar a ayudar a la gente, dar nuestro conocimiento a las personas que necesitan hoy en día, que estén salvados espiritualmente, ¿no? Como llenos de sanación, como llenos de luz en su corazón y su mente. ¿Ya? Que este conocimiento queremos llevar más allá del mundo.
So he's saying he thanks the universe, the plants, and he thanks you for helping us get to the world and to the people who need healing, and to open the gates for us to connect to other people and to share our knowledge with those people.
Yeah, but I mean, I share your optimism. It's kind of, I think there's these things that are just coming together at the moment. You know, you've got these people looking for meaning, people looking for spirit, but you've also coupled with this incredible level of technology which lets us get this message out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, yeah, I think this you know, it could be like some kind of, you know, golden age that we're on the brink of, and yeah, maybe you guys are like the pioneers here, the tip of the spear.
Yeah, maybe dice que ahora en este mundo que estamos, que podemos unirnos aquí y después transmitirlo a la gente de fuera, es como llega todo esto junto, ¿no? Para abrir todas esas puertas al mundo y del conocimiento. Igual somos los pioneros.
Y también él está bienvenido, ¿no? Que sea aquí, o que sea en América, o que sea en la selva, está bienvenido.
You are always welcome with us.
Gracias.
Always welcome.
Okay.
Gracias.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.